What's up, guys? I've been working on the perfect opening line for a year and a half now, and I think I finally got it. Here we go. What's crack-a-lackin', my oiled-up compatriots? I am Haltalk Guy, at least I will be when I legally change my name, and this is Campus Update. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these for the general public's hungry eyes, and you've probably been wondering where I've been. I've actually been on maternity leave, and I've been expanding my horizons in my absence. I've gone out and seen the world since distance learning, and I've done some pretty crazy things while I was at it. For instance, I've been trying to find a grammatically correct use for the word hullabaloo in a sentence. That took about 8 months. I've also been doing a cheese tasting show in my absence.
Yeah, it's cheese.
Finally, you know I've been listening to Midnights.
My town was a wasteland, full of cages, full of fences, pageant queens and big pretenders.
But enough about me. Let's get on with the show. First up, we got to look at APPA's new play, Mr. Burns. That is, if I had to describe it in 1.5 words, post-electric. Here's Alicia and Megumi to tell you all about it.
Mr. Burns, a post-electric play, is a black comedy by Anne Washburn taking place after the collapse of human civilization. It focuses on a group of survivors huddling around a campfire and attempting to piece together the plot of the Simpsons episode, Cape Fear from Memory. 7 years later, this and other snippets of pop culture have become the live entertainment of a post-apocalyptic society with a story, characters, and morals repurposed to fit the dramatic needs of this fractured world. Mr. Burns is a darkly funny exploration of how the pop culture of an era might evolve into the mythology of another. Let's see what a few of the cast members have to say about Mr. Burns.
This play is totally unlike anything APPA has ever done before. The audience is actually going to be on the stage, so it's going to be a totally immersive experience, which is going to be really cool. So that's something I'm really excited to try out and experiment with.
I really love spending time with all of the people and just being surrounded by so much sheer talent.
I'm really excited for the audience to see the third act because it's really fun and it's kind of weird, and I don't think there's been really anything like it before at APPA.
People should see the play because it's a really different take on The Simpsons, and since that's such a popular show, I think a lot of people will get the references, but it's also something that acting has never done before, so it will be really cool to see what acting has been putting on.
As Mr. Burns is kind of more of an abstract art kind of performance and not your stereotypical acting show.
We aren't necessarily musical theater performers, so it's definitely a difficult transition to get actors to sing and dance.
Thanks, guys. Be sure to get your tickets soon. I'm going to have my own standing section in the first row, and you do not want to sit behind me. Next up is Alex, Zach, and a 2000 Jeep Cherokee. Check it out.
On today's episode, we have my friend's 2000 Jeep Cherokee.
I've had it since, I believe, 2019 now. I think it's 3 years. A few of my favorite things about this car, I must say that the engine is excellent. It's an inline-6, AMC inline-6, partnered with the AW4 transmission, which is one of the most reliable transmissions of its time in the early 2000s, even the 80s. And it runs great. Oh, it is very comfortable. I take trips down to San Diego with this thing all the time, and one of the most comfortable cars I've sit in. I am a smaller man of 5'6", and even in here it's tight for me, as you can see. And this is probably this is pretty much the farthest the back seat will go as well.
So you have about, what is that, half an inch to an inch of legroom? That's not very much.
Yeah, that's correct. The front seats are actually really comfortable. The most comfortable seat, I would say, in this car is the passenger seat, but unfortunately I never sit in it, because I drive all the time.
Do the seats recline?
Observe.
If you're looking for a small SUV to take on weekend camping trips, looks like this is it.
Thanks, fellas. Next up, Hudson and Julius are here to provide their take on a popular taco shop that's super close to home. It's time for Bites.
We're rating Fiesta Grill today.
We'll have our first bite.
I would definitely recommend these. We're gonna give our rating from 1 to 10.
I'd probably give it a 7.5.
So I'd probably give it around 7.5 to 8. Look good.
There's some guacamole
you gotta add the guac.
Sour cream in here.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.
I would probably give this a 6.5 to 7.
Wow.
Definitely not that bad.
That is terrible.
I'll give it a 6.
Okay, I'll give it a 1.
It's got a lot of chunky bits.
It's kind of spicy.
Of course.
What would you rate it out of 10?
I would say probably a 7 for the salsa. And maybe a 5 for the tortilla chip.
You know, for the chip, I'd probably give it a 7.5. And for the salsa, I'll give that a 9.
We don't feel like
Doing the math,
looking
so-
over at our answers, so we're just gonna.
Give you the score right here.
Results are somewhere on the screen.
Thanks, chums. That cheesecake was rated criminally low, but I guess I'll let it slide.
Hey, Oilers, a few days ago I did some baking, specifically pie. An apple pie to be even more exact. Why? Well, we did cookies and apples are in season. Let's begin with the crust. Start with adding flour and salt, stir them well, then add in the sticks of butter. After that, mix until it has a nice and consistent texture. And lastly, add water until it looks like dough. Okay, now that the crust is done, we need something to put in the crust. So let's start in the filling. We pour in the apple slices. Then, like most desserts, we draw in the healthy fruit and sugar. Next, we add some flour for some structure, followed by salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and lemon juice. Finish off the filling by tossing it around and make sure that all of the apples are covered evenly in our tasty, tasty mixture. Next, we assemble. We start with a layer of crust to cover the inside of the pie tin, then we cut off the excess and pour in the filling. Next, with the remaining dough, we cover the top to hide our hideous amalgamation of ingredients we call pie filling. Lastly, we close and clean up the sides and add some holes on top. We use an egg wash for some crisping and some sugar just to top it off. Well, our creation is done. So now we just need to cook it. Put it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour. Anyways, the pie is finished, so I brought some friends over to taste test it.
I loved it. It was amazing. I didn't gag at all.
Incredible!
Was it good?
Maybe.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was alright.
As you can see, they absolutely loved the pie. If you guys want to make this at home, I gave you all the ingredients and a step-by-step process on how to make it. So, impress your friends.
Who forgot to turn the oven off?
No! Thanks, Brayden. If you made it this far, your patience has not been for nothing. It's time for the only segment that matters, at least to me. It's the one, the only.
Hall Talk.
Excuse me. What's your name?
I'm Gio.
What do you fear?
Everything.
That was ominous. All right. Are you going to answer my question this time?
I ask you the question.
What is your question for me?
My questions is if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To get away from this conversation. What's your name?
Joseph.
What do you fear?
A big woman stepping on me.
You fear that?
Yes.
If you clean a vacuum, does that make you a vacuum cleaner?
No.
No, why not?
Because then you're manipulating the vacuum.
I wasn't saying violate a vacuum, I was saying clean the vacuum. What's your name?
Luciana.
What are you afraid of?
Being alone.
What do you fear?
Goats.
What's your name, man?
Chris.
What do you fear?
Being asked dumb personal questions.
Am I dumb?
Wait, what's
Are you?
Yeah, what's your biggest fear?
What's your biggest fear?
You.
What do you hate?
Myself.
Oh no! Everyone hug him.
No, let's not do that.
How are you?
I'm not doing so well. What's your name?
Brian.
If you clean a vacuum, does that make you a vacuum cleaner? Yeah.
That was good.
I know. Yeah. In light of Teacher Appreciation Week, who's your favorite teacher on campus?
It's Mr. Lowe, his student teacher. I call him Coach. The best guy on the planet.
Who is your favorite teacher on campus?
Mr. Schwab.
Who's your favorite teacher on campus?
Mr. Nguyen.
Who's your favorite teacher on campus?
I don't know any teachers.
Don't you have some? Who's your favorite teacher on campus?
Mrs. Flowers.
Excuse me. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Grady.
Who's your favorite teacher on campus?
My favorite teacher on campus is Mr. Arroyo.
Oh, Mr. Arroyo.
Mr. Arroyo.
Mr. Arroyo is the best teacher ever. I love him so much. He is the best. Wait. He is the best Spanish teacher, best math teacher in the world.
The results are in. It seems like Mr. Arroyo has won this year's Hall Talk Teacher of the Year award. So let's go give it to him. You have been voted Best Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. This is a soccer trophy from when I was 7 and I put a label on it. Congratulations. I've been Hall Talk Guy. This has been Hall Talk. Follow the Instagram at the Hall Talk Guy, not Hall Talk Guy. That is Andrew Bucher, and we do not like Bucher. No offense, Bucher. I love you, but you are not the Hall Talk Guy anymore. Anyway, back to you, me, back to me, because I'm hosting this episode. Thanks, me. Sorry for the delay between Hall Talk episodes, but I will be back on a consistent basis starting on the 12th of December, so stay tuned. If you liked it or you want to participate in the making of the show, be sure to follow @TheHallTalkGuy on Instagram. I got one of the questions I asked from a poll I did on the account, so there's a chance that your question that you submit to me will be used in the next episode. But for now, that's all the show we have for you today. We'll see you next time, and remember, you are the only conscious being in existence. Everything and everyone around you is an illusion created by your solitary mind. Nothing is real. You are quite literally alone. We'll see you next week, and have a great Monday.